Jackie Brainerd. I'm interviewing Bob Ruhl on student activities in school. What do you remember about student activities when you went to school?
We had very few. We had Y teams, Future Homemakers of America. There wasn't any sports. There was a girls' basketball team, but we didn't play in like they do now. There was no track. There was choir. Choir was very popular then, much bigger than it is now. I think almost everyone went out for choir. Band was quite popular too. They had a huge band. So I think those were the two major activities, was band and choir. They had a much larger future homemakers were very, very big too. But we didn't have half the activities which you have now.
Did you have a student council?
Yes, we had a student council where we had, each class had secretary treasurer and a president, and then we voted for the student council, and the student council voted themselves who would be the head one and the secretary and treasurer.
Do you remember anything that they did, the things they planned?
I don't think there was active then.
Like, did they play any of the dances or?
We had most of the classes playing the dances. Like when we were junior, we put on the junior prom in the gym, and freshmen had a dance. Maybe student council put on a few dances, but most of the dances were planned by the classes. Each class had a certain time that they put on the dances.
Can you tell me about Y Team?
I can't remember much about it. I know we went caroling at Christmas time, and we had parties at different seasons, for the season, but I really can't remember what we did.
Do you remember how many people were involved in it?
That was quite a big group, too. Your white teens were small. I think most of the girls in school were in the group, but I really, it probably tells here what it was for.
And you had FFA?
The boys did. The girls were not allowed to be in FFA, or take shop, or take drafting. I wanted to take drafting, and they wouldn't let me because I was a girl. And the boys could not go into homemaking either. So they were each set in their own class, do you say? Mm-hmm. And they had certain classes that we had to take, and the boys took these, and the girls took these, and that was it. We didn't have the choices to choose between the classes at all.
Did you have a school newspaper or anything like that?
A book.
Did you like?
The end of the year, the school book called The Indian, and that was all.
Did you have National Honor Society?
We had it, but it was called a different name. And you had to be voted on just like you do now by the teachers.
Did they have to do good academically in order to be elected?
They were chosen academically because of their activities in school. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it was called the National Honor Society. And they were voted in so many junior year, so many senior year.
Can you tell me about Future Homemakers of America?
Future Homemakers of America? Well, when we went to school, every girl took home ec, which was called home ec. And we had to have so many years of it. So therefore, there was a large group, and that was mostly based on, like we went to Michigan State and seen a style show where all the girls in college and
hobby shows?
Yeah. And we did things like that, which pertained to sewing or to the home and things like that. But that was a very large group because, like I said, we didn't have that many activities.
So it was like a lot of people participating in it, though?
Mm-hmm. Awful lot. Because you had to have 2 years of home ec to graduate from.
And it was only open to girls?
Only open to girls.
Okay, can you tell me about your band?
The band was very big. That's another thing that was very big those years. Because, and the choir was very big. I was never in the band. But they didn't march for a competition. They just marched for the football games. They were always in the parades of town and like that. They didn't have a competition band then.
They only played and marched for football and not for basketball, or only for football?
Only for football.
Did you have an orchestra
No.
back then?
No.
No.
If the kids wanted an orchestra, they just got together themselves. Not that I know of. I don't remember an orchestra. Another thing, we had a lot of... No, there's no orchestra, just band. See how big it was? It's twice the size of ours now.
Yeah.
And we had a lot of majorettes.
What did they do? Baton twirlers?
Baton twirlers. They were baton twirlers. And when the year I think I graduated, they were dressed as Indians. They were real cute. They had like Indians with the feathers. They were really cute dressed like that. I thought it was cuter than the ones they got now.
Yeah.
But the band in those days, when in town, they always had a 4th of July, parade in Chesapeake, and the band always took part in it. Always. And they don't do that now.
Can you tell me about, did you have junior and senior plays? Just like every
Senior.
year? Just only senior?
A senior play that I remember. And it was usually, they called it the senior play, but anyone could be in it.
Oh, could you?
Yeah, it was called the senior play. But we never had musicals. Ours were usually dramatic or something, or comedy, because they didn't have the stage or the facility to have.
Oh, you didn't have the stage at all?
Well, the stage was in the old school, but it wasn't like this one here for sound and stuff.
Was there big audiences for these?
Yes. I think people took part more in school activities than we do now. Well, here's a junior play. They did have a junior play. But usually the junior play was more for the students.
Do you know if they, do they use props and stuff like that, or did they?
We made our own props.
The people that were in the play made them?
Yeah, we made our own props. We got our props. I was never in one, but we would paint them. The class would get together and paint them and work on our own props. Oh,
Wait,
yeah.
nowadays, like the art club makes them, Did you have an art club back then?
No.
No.
No art at all.
Can you tell me about the choir?
The choir was one of the most active groups in the school. It was a big choir, and it was, they had it separate though. They had the boys' choir and the girls' choir. They were separate.
And what things did they sing in? Did they sing?
They would compete.
Oh,
They would
competitions?
compete, yeah, competitions, and they would sing. Spring contest.
Did they sing at graduation and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Was the membership voluntary, or were they selected?
They were volunteer.
Did you?
Can we quit so I can get a glass of water?
Did you have forensics?
Yes. And every student, the freshman year, had to participate in forensics. I remember that for our English class. Everyone had to participate, and in all the other English classes too. So we had a lot of people that participated. But that was one of the class projects, was forensics. I can remember.
You had to do speeches. Did you get to pick your own categories?
Yeah, we picked our own subjects, and then every class would pick a person that was the best. And then each member, each class, they would compete then to end up with the one that won. And every English class, they had to do that.
So it was required?
It was required, yep. That was part of our class projects, was forensics. We got to pick the topic, but the teacher would suggest topics.
What was best?
Yeah, what was best. So, yeah.
Can you tell me about the cheerleaders?
I know there was only 2 of them, 2 or 3. They didn't compete. All they did was cheer at the games. They didn't have, of course, they didn't have the jumps and stuff like they do now.
So they weren't as popular as they are now?
No, and this was quite a group here in this picture, but I don't remember that many at a game. I think these are junior and senior cheerleaders. I don't remember that many.
So they didn't do any of the
No, there was
gymnastics
there was no competition. Very little gymnastics. They would have tryouts in front of the whole school, I remember.
The whole school?
Uh-huh. And then the teachers would get together and choose.
All the teachers got to pick them? Or did just certain ones?
Well, as I remember, about 4 or 5 teachers. But one year they all did it, and then next year they got it down to so many teachers who did it.
Did they cheer at like football games and basketball?
Basketball. Yeah, that was
Did they
it.
cheer at anything else?
No, just football and basketball. That's all we had besides baseball. They didn't have track then.
No. They didn't have softball for the girls?
No.
They didn't have volleyball?
No. The only thing they had was a basketball team, and like I said, they did not participate like they do now. They would just play like Klana once in a while or something like that. There was no sports for girls.
Did you have a glee club?
That's a choir, isn't it? I don't know. I don't think so. I think glee club. No.
Do you have high Y?
No, never heard of it.
Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts?
I never belonged, but they probably did. I belonged to 4-H because I was more in country.
4-H? What did you do in that?
4-H? Oh, we sewed and knitted and crocheted and learned to do things around the home. But see, we were rural farm families, that's why we had 4-H instead of Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts. They probably had it in town.
Did you have a varsity club for the people that earned letters and anything?
I think so. They had varsity basketball or something like that. I don't think it's a club like it was then. I think varsity in those days was just your older, your seniors, juniors and seniors.
Can you just tell me anything that you remember about an average school day?
Average school day? Does it have to be high school?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Average school day. Well, we were in a 3-story building, which is tore down now. And when I went to school there was 6th, 7th, and 8th grade plus the high school. And we all had certain classes we had to take. We never had the choice of classes like we do now. And we'd have classes on all 3 floors. Of course, I don't think it's much different about the time. We had study halls. We had to have study halls. That was a requirement. And we weren't allowed to leave the building.
Not at all? Even if your parents came?
Oh yeah, if your parents came, yes. But I mean, otherwise.
When you're a senior, you can't sign out?
No, we never had senior privileges like you have. The only thing we got being a senior is if we had a B+ average in our classes, we didn't have to take the exams. But otherwise, we would have had to even take the exams. So,
you had 6 classes.
Yeah.
And lunch. Do you remember anything that was exciting about school?
I liked it. I don't remember anything. We never had the how do you say it, competition that you kids have. We never had the pressure of, you have to take twice as many subjects as we did.
Yeah.
I think we took 4.
How many credits did you need to graduate?
I can't remember.
16.
I think 16. I think we had to take 4 classes a year. And also, when we took a class, it was all year. We didn't have these half semesters or anything. It was an all-year class.
Were the rules there strict? Or,
I think they had more control of it. I'm sure they had more control of it than they do nowadays. But it was a smaller school, too.
do you remember what was the most fun about school? Like lunch or being with your friends? Or
Oh, I just like school.
just like everything?
I like school, yeah.
Did you have proms?
Oh, yes. A junior prom, and we were junior. And in those days, with the prom, the junior class decorated the school gym. We had a school gym. And there was a project in the junior class to decorate it. That was more fun. We had more fun doing that. We made a huge crystal ball. We took a huge balloon, and I worked on this project. Now I took paper mache and covered it, and then we covered it with all pieces of glass. And we hung up the ceiling. We had more fun doing that. And also, the senior banquet was a different night. We never had the same night as the junior prom.
And you didn't leave the building
No,
for your prom?
never leave. We couldn't leave. And but we had put waterfalls, and we really decorated that thing. And then when they had the junior-senior banquet, the juniors put it on. And the sophomores waited table, and that was in the school gym too.
And you had dinners like before the dance?
No, separate night.
Separate night?
Separate night.
Did everyone have like big like long dresses and everything?
They did for the
Dancing?
junior prom, for the prom. Oh yeah, they had long dresses. Yeah, but for the dinner they did. They just dressed casually. And that was the juniors put that on, and we had a skit. We had little skits for them, and a little bit of entertainment. That was on a school night, and that cost those seniors nothing.
The prom was on school night too?
No, the prom was on a Friday night, and that did cost, but it was hardly nothing. Probably about $4 a piece. Nothing like today. Nope.
What do you remember about your graduation?
Oh, I just remember, I guess I'm on stage. Of course, you're always excited when you graduate.
It was held at Showboat Park?
Yeah, it was held at Showboat Park. And they had the band there. I remember that. There was a speaker. Those days they had speakers from outside the school district or school.
Oh, for graduation they did?
Yeah, they had speakers, not with, the people that were outside of the school. And we had no choice of speaker. That was arranged by the faculty.
Oh, the class didn't get to vote on who they wanted for
No.
a speaker?
And Mr. Malcolm was our class advisor. The one that was principal. He was our class advisor.
You guys get to vote on your class colors?
Oh,
and
yeah.
everything like
Flowers.
that? Yeah, did you have a song and stuff still?
Probably.
Song and flowers?
I don't remember what it was. I didn't look it up.
Did you have like valedictorians and
Yes.
salutatorians?
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember anything else?
No, I can't. I know we still get together every 5 years, that kind of stuff. I probably will actually.
Can you tell me anything about school?
Well, I think the teachers were stricter then. I think we enjoyed school more than we do now. Because we did, there was a kind of a dress code. I know they had a fit if you wore slacks. A lot of the classes, they'd mark you down if you wore slacks.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Especially this one English teacher, she would mark the girls down for so much percent every time they wore slacks. So there was no slacks, very seldom. We were kept busy with band, choir, basketball, football. I don't think sports were pushed then like they are now.
You don't think as many people attended as they do now? Or?
Oh yeah, there was always a big group, a big team. More students I think than we do now. And that's about all I can remember.
classes that you took hard? Did you have like a lot of tests and everything like nowadays?
Sure. We had a lot of tests. But we weren't in the classes that you are now. You were way advanced and much further than we
Do you
were.
remember what classes you took?
Oh, I had to take algebra and math. Probably the basics. Oh, I can't read them. You had to have English, I know, all 4 years, American English. And I took typing, and I took, have to take government. And took bookkeeping, and you had to have so much history. I took a biology, but I was working towards a thing to go to college. So that's why I took biology and algebra and all that. But they didn't have much more than this to offer. Like I said, not like they do now. It's so different.
And you got a yearbook at the end of the year for every year?
I can't find it. Or I do have it out here someplace.
So is there anything that you remember about school that you forgot to say?
I can't remember. The only thing I got to say about the yearbook nowadays, you have junior high and you don't have lower grades in your yearbooks, do you? Okay, see, this yearbook's got all the classes in it.
Oh, so they had every grade in the yearbook.
Until it got so big.